Hello, everybody. I know it's been a little while since I've tapped in. I've been taking care of business just like everybody else. We're at a time now on the planet where we're ready for the shift. However it is, whatever community it is, you feel it, you know it. Whether you're going to buy into the fear mongering, that's your choice. That's everybody's choice. Everybody always has a choice. You've heard me been saying this for years. But the battle, they talk about the battle within. And on a spiritual level, on an energetic level, people are facing the end of their cycles. They're facing the 29 degrees of Pisces, I guess, getting ready to start, all brand new, even though it's 29 Capricorn with Pluto, and now it's not. So up in September, this is going to be coming back for a few months. So look for things to start picking up rapidly, and come September through November, we will be revisiting for the last time 29 degrees, Pluto in Capricorn. And then Age of Aquarius, right? Well, we're getting a taste of that now. So what you're getting to see without seeing the fifth dimensional or higher energies, unless of course you've had peeks into that, which we all know some have, and they've been mislabeled a lot of times as hallucinating, and even though they may be seeing multiple dimensions. That's a whole nother topic. We can talk about that another time, perhaps. But during this lifetime, people that have seen energy and seen the light can feel it, sense it. Quantum sight is on, inner vision. Those kinds of people are leading the way with showing everybody it's okay. It's okay to step over here and to know. When you start to get to know yourself within, which I've been trying to teach and show my entire adult life. I've been sharing these things since I discovered Reiki in 1998, became a master. And since those times, I've been actively trying to show and teach the things that I've been learning, remembering on a cellular level. It's what we're all here to do, is our own private missions, right? But we're also learning how to play in the sandbox together, which was the title of one of my last videos. Playing well in the sandbox together. That's what we're doing. We're remembering that world peace is what we're here for, and what we all probably secretly desire and hope for, to get along together without taking advantage of other people, without the service to self, shifting that, flipping that, just like the planetary poles in the flip right now for what Ben on Suspicious Observers has documented as a 90-degree tilt. And it's not like it hasn't happened before. And yes, there's going to be disruptions, but in the fear state of things, you can't calm yourself if you're fearful. How do you expect to affect the grid and calm things in unity with all of those beings around the planet who are calming things, so this transition can include everyone? If you're living in fear of some kind of cataclysmic event, if there was a cataclysmic event and we all went together, we'd all go together. But if you're afraid of dying, if you have that fear of death, then anything brought up like this is going to trigger those types of programs to run inside of you, which will cause anxiety and more loosh to feed the beings are feeding off of. But we won't get into that right now. We'll get into your own personal state of well-being, because your personal state is going to be dependent upon how you're feeling and how you're choosing to feel, which you always have that choice. If you want to learn how to get a hold of this, I've created a whole entire free life program. It's Becoming a Galactic Citizen. It's called ascensionmaps.com. Please share this with people that you think might be on the path and awakening, or just need some more tools, or, you'll know, you'll be guided. And it's something that when you take a personal journey, regardless of what your resources are, everybody has the right to know how to operate from a self-empowered place within themselves. They have that divine birthright. If they have a human body and they were born on this planet in a human body, you have that divine birthright, which also means you have that choice to make that. It's a divine choice point. And if you are actively aware and awake and conscious, and you're choosing to bully and gaslight and cause harm to others, if you're making those choices, there is a point of rectification that you will meet. And just like everybody, if you're choosing to evolve yourself and be a little bit better today than you were yesterday, if you're choosing those types of behaviors and you're operating from a place of growing that seed within you, you're learning more about the keys that unlock, just like the divine masculine, divine feminine combined make a holy trinity within yourself, because the two combined as one create one whole. So it's more like 1 + 1 = 3, divinity in trinity and unity for all. So if you combine 7, all 7 together make 8. See? 8's infinity. 8's a lot of things, but we're moving into times where you can't just explain by numbers. You have to know by experience. So the only way that you can truly know what your own treasure journey and quest within, the only way that you can really know the sacred geometries within yourself and how to activate and use the grids and create those crystal structures and use them for clearing and purifying and healing, manifesting so it's for the greater good of all. So if you get a healing and you intend that to be out on the grids, knowing how to use your chakras and your energy, that's your personal empowerment. That's a personal empowerment to the place where you can choose personal sovereignty. You can choose how to utilize your life force. There's a lot involved. And the beauty is the beauty of all of this is that it's never something that you can't handle. And when you first wake up to things, you go, oh my God, there's so much I didn't even know. Like, wow, this whole other world existed. It's like the fish coming out of the water, realizing there's air. Fish can't breathe in the air. I know that's a bad analogy, but you know what I'm saying. Finding out that there's a whole nother reality that includes many more dimensions than you've ever been able to see. It's like waking up from a dream, literally. You go on this quest to find answers to things, like Googling how many dimensions can the human brain interact in. And if you guys watch my channel and follow me, you all know, because you've probably all Googled it or asked your Alexa or whatever it is. It's the human brain can't just interact in, but it can create structures in up to 11 dimensions. That tells you something, okay? We're in a 12-dimensional box framing system, but that 12-dimensional system that we're in is something that you've also not seen all of, not been taught about, been kept way, way, way down in this fear place. But it's up to us to personally break out. And when you each dissolve and purge and get rid of all the fears and old programs within yourself, you start to have more clear choices for evolving yourself to make better choices and show up authentically as your higher self would in your body through your light bodies. So as you're rebuilding your light bodies, even if you don't understand these things, if you catch yourself and you just stop and take a breath, in that stillness between your in-breath and your out-breath, and your out-breath and your in-breath, in that stillness is where you find the peace. So expanding that and continuing that, holding on to that in your mind system, holding on to that in your consciousness, in your body. It's paying attention to something while you're actively, or maybe not always actively, but while you're participating in your physical body. When you show up somewhere, whatever's going on in your mind system is something going on everywhere else in the dimensions you don't always see or hear. And if you never have, and you haven't yet, you do. Every time you travel at night, you use all of those other senses, but I won't get into that right now either. One step at a time. Trying to expand the peace and the awareness might mean using your mind in a way that you are taming your own beast, your mind system. Not saying it's a beast, but it's like a wild horse or a crazy little monkey or something. It's almost, I hate to use those analogies too. I love the monkeys. I love the horses. But if you just look at it as a wild part of you, your wild self, and you're just exerting your authority by your sovereign knowingness over choosing how to react or not react. And when you start, I've talked about this a lot, you guys know if you've watched this, If you are reacting, it's not really a choice. You're still acting, which is like behaving in a way that is predicted based on responses of emotions from conditioning you've previously received. Yeah. So if you've been programmed to respond a certain way and your emotions are triggered, then you behave that way. You're reacting to something, an impulse, something that triggered you. And it could be just a situation. So responding with a fight or flight response is your emotions go, "Ooh," and everything tightens up and you have anxiety suddenly. And it's like, once you realize that, that's when you take your breath. When you start catching yourself there and you start taking a breath there, you realize it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to just breathe. Breathe deeply and call in that part of you that's the higher self. Ask the spirit to take the wheel. You might say, ask Jesus to take the wheel. Well, I like to say, ask your soul to take the wheel, because that's your I am presence. You call it your higher self if you want to, but just ask your soul somehow, one way or another, to guide you, to help you say the right words, to help you behave the right way, to help you make the right choice in your responses. Because if you take one breath, so much can happen in one breath. That could be a whole nother training video. So much can happen in one breath. So when you're laying down your weapons, your inner weapons of war, because you choose peace, you choose a conversation with instead of a reaction to impulses that come from all over the place. Do you ever notice when you're driving somewhere or traveling somewhere and you pass fast food places, do you ever notice how many impulses you get hit by? It's crazy. Or anything else, any other store, you'd get triggered by impulses. And it's like, you almost have to do a mind battle to say, no, I have food at home. I'm not stopping somewhere, right? So you know what I mean? Impulses are everywhere. And instead of fighting it, when you choose the peace within, you choose the conversation within, you're good. And you're proud of yourself because you take a little step forward in controlling yourself, getting to know thyself. And then when the impulses come up later, you can have a conversation instead of a battle. So if you're choosing peace within, it does reflect out in your world. That's what you magnetize yourself to with your magneticity. So yes, emotions do count. And it is valid what you're feeling. Now, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. And I especially wanted to bring attention to this one particular international event that's going on. It's unfolding. If you guys don't know who Dr. Brandon Cavanaugh is, the boogie woogie pianist over in Britain, he's at the station where they filmed the Harry Potter, the 9.5 platform or whatever that was. The piano was donated by Elton John for the public to use in a public space. And if you haven't seen this video yet, it's basically the CCP, a group of Chinese CCP. They were holding the flag and everything. There was an incident that went down. And it was absolutely crazy how the responses were. And so basically the whole world, of the free world, and not free world too, but the people of the world who believe in your right to exist and that nobody's better than anybody else kind of thing, like those people, people that have a freedom of speech. And, if you're in a public place, you pretty much consent to being filmed. And whether someone's going to put it on their social media or whether they're live streaming, you never know. You're on ATMs, you're on CCTVs, you're on security cameras. Everywhere you go, there's always something recording you. You can't possibly consent to all of that. And if you're in a public place and you don't want to be filmed, you just don't go in the place where you see someone filming. Like, it's pretty basic. But when somebody doesn't get their way and they start screaming and acting like children, and making false accusations and trying to gang stalk, like by creating a mob with false accusations. And when they start doing that and you can see it unfold live, it's crazy how much people can now see the true colors of the behavior of bullying and gaslighting and the tactics where children behave, and just dirty, nasty behavior. This is not where we're going. This is not what we want on our planet. And this is what's getting cleaned up, but it has to be revealed before people can see what's going on. Now, I'm going to, when I upload this video, I'm going to put a comment in, and I'm going to pin the comment with a link to the video. So watch it. Watch the whole thing. Because if you don't know who Dr. Kavanaugh is, Dr. K, they call him. I've been watching him for years. Since COVID, I've been watching him. And he just brings joy to people. He gets people to dance with him. People come up and play with him. He does his live streams there. He's just an amazing, amazing, happy. You can feel his energy. He's always such a kind person. And I love this guy. So when I don't get to see all of his videos. I just don't have enough time in my day to do that. But when I saw this one pop up, that the police asked him to stop filming and everything, I watched it. It was not a long video, maybe half an hour or something, but watch the whole thing because there's some exchanges that go down that you're just blown away by. And he also, on his channel, subscribe to his channel too. This guy has the world. Anyone who's aware of this has the world standing behind him. And I predict that this is going to be an incident that the CCP is not going to be able to control. They're not going to be able to swat this one down. And, there could be blackouts and different things. I don't know. I mean, there's always a reason when you can't suppress the information. What do? You shut it off, right? So anyone who's ever been censored or has had free speech issues or anything going on like that, anyone that's happened to is seeing this play out in real time, that it's CCP against anti-CCP, if you want to call it, or the free will of the people, the divine rights of people versus the CCP. I mean, I hate to pit any group against another, but this is just horrible behavior and it needs to be called out. And I love that Dr. K, the boogie woogie pianist, is the face of the revolution for ensuring that we have our divine birthrights, things like free speech. That should be for everyone on the planet, not just one particular country or another. That's my opinion. This is all my opinion, only my opinion. But I highly recommend that you click on the link after I get it up. I'm going to pin it as a comment, and I highly encourage you to go down this rabbit hole to support, because when I talk about peace and laying down your weapons, we all want peace. We all want world peace and everybody to get along. And there's a whole group thought out there of, well, don't fight back then. Just don't feed energy into it. And that's true to a point. I've learned this one the hard way. This year, I've learned that one the hard way, that you do need to stand up to the bullies. You do need to stand up to people that are creating havoc and lies and perpetuating racism. Yes, it's all in this. This whole issue is about calling people racist because they don't get what they want, saying they assaulted somebody, because they don't get what they want. You're not the same age. It has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with race. And it's funny because, well, you'll see. Just, it's ridiculous, is what it is. I hope this continues to blow up. I don't think that Elton John has weighed in on this yet, but I don't know. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not involved in that, but I've heard a couple things from Dr. K, and he was also on Piers Morgan, I think, or Piers, his show, and it was on Dr. K's channel. And in there, I think he mentioned too that they had publicists reaching out. They're reaching out to the publicist, one of the news channels, to get a statement from Elton John because it was his piano. Oh yeah, and the very next day, they had cordoned off the piano. They put the piano in prison. They held it, and it was just crazy. The piano is free. There was like hashtag free the piano. It's crazy. So they did get the piano released, and tomorrow, on Friday, I believe, he may be doing a live. So if you subscribe to his channel and click for the notifications, then flood his live feed with support because he deserves it. And there's so many, if you just read the comments, you'll see there's so many people in there that are absolutely standing up for this one. And it doesn't mean that you're choosing war. It means that you've chosen a side and that you will not be bullied anymore. We are not going to be treated like cattle anymore. And they can keep censoring and they can keep trying, but the more they do it, the more we see exactly what they're doing. And we're not standing for it anymore. So anyway, I have a Rumble channel as well. So if this anything happens, you know where you can find me, lindalight.com or Linda Light, 2 words, over on Rumble. And we'll see how this all plays out. But hang in there, you guys. The full moon just passed, full moon in Leo. Bev's going to be coming on again soon. And we're going to do an astrology video for the new year. And there's been a lot going on. So I'll just let her tell you about her things in person next time we run our live. And thank you for all your support. We love seeing you here. Love being here. Just doing our thing and spirit guided. So I hope you guys are just a little bit better today than you were yesterday. And don't be food. Bye.